CBS 8's Richard Allen is live in Scripps Ranch tonight, where hundreds of homes were destroyed more than 21 years ago. Richard?
Well, Marcella, that's right. The Cedar Fire broke out the evening of October 25th, 2003, becoming the largest and most destructive wildfire in California's history at that time, destroying entire neighborhoods, including here in Scripps Ranch, where sadly residents here can now relate all too well to what so many families up in Los Angeles are now going through.
So you feel for those people up there.
For Scripps Ranch residents Doug and Kay Coates, the destructive wildfires now tearing through Los Angeles, including Pacific Palisades, have an eerie resonance.
I totally feel for them because you don't know what you're into, and you don't know what's going to happen, and you've now been evacuated.
The morning of October 26, 2003, they woke up and within an hour were confronted with a quickly growing wildfire driven by Santa Ana winds at the end of Pine Castle Street, where they live.
And before the cops even came to say, you need to evacuate, we were already like, there's fire at the end of the street. We need to knock on every door.
Their home was one of more than 3,200 structures that were ultimately destroyed by the Cedar Fire.
It was kind of like a war zone. There's nothing. I mean, it was ashes, and there was nothing, no structure at all.
Burning more than 270,000 acres and killing 15 people.
I think it's just mostly shock. And it's like, okay, now what?
The Coates eventually rebuilt and returned home.
You know, pick up the bootstraps and move on.
And over the more than 2 decades since the Cedar Fire, much has changed.
We've all learned a lot since then,
including advances in equipment and technology to fight wildfires. And for these latest wildfire victims in Los Angeles, they'll also have to deal with a changing home insurance landscape.
That's one of the things I think about with these folks in Palisades. Okay, what are they insured? What are they going to do? Do they know what to do when they have this? So there's a lot more resources out there now too.
While here at home, the threat of fire danger still lingers as well.
We don't live in fear of another fire down here. We've lived through it. We see what happens.
Not something you want to go through again, but you get out on the other end. A lot to be thankful for. Honestly, you just got to be thankful.
A lot to be thankful for now. All told, more than 300 homes here in Scripps Ranch were destroyed by the Cedar Fire. Now, almost all of those homes were rebuilt, with many of the original residents returning to live here in Scripps Ranch. Carlo and Marcella, I would say that is a small sign of hope for those thousands of residents in Los Angeles who were forced to evacuate and at this point may not even know whether or not they have a home to return to.
Richard, it was 21 years ago, but for the people that lived through it, the minute you smell smoke or you see fire, those memories come racing back. For the people that you've talked to, do the people in Scripps Ranch feel that they are prepared if there's another wildfire? A lot of lessons learned?
Well, I mean, as you said, Marcella, it was such a triggering event, one that stays with you even 21 years later. It stays with you to this day. Still, though, you can sense that there is a sense of resilience here. The fact that we survived such a catastrophic fire 21 years ago, we can survive another one. Still, it's a really good reminder, and I think it's on the minds of a lot of people here, to always be prepared, and that includes always having an evacuation plan in place.
Yeah,
Marcella?
You can't let your guard down, especially we are able to get these warnings a lot of times days in advance for the Santa Ana wind events. Important to be prepared. Thanks so much, Richard.